How's the nose?
Brazil?
Nose is good. Can breathe now, so that's always
A little
good.
crooked, maybe?
A little crooked, but hey, good thing I'm married, right?
How does it feel to be back with the team?
Yeah, it feels great. Glad to be back, and excited about getting started again. And just want to say how great the guys have done. Since me and DeAndre were gone, and just how they performed so well. And we just want to get back in the team and try to keep that going.
How much were you able to follow them while you're in Brazil?
Yeah, I mean, we're able, through the internet these days, you can see a lot. So yeah, it was exciting to see how well the boys have been playing, and I'm just excited to get back and be a part of this team because it has a lot of quality in it.
Were you surprised at the reaction when you landed back in the States?
I think every time that there's a World Cup, there's more mainstream America gets involved in the game, and hopefully as each World Cup goes by, more and more of those people will stay in touch with the game. But yeah, it's exciting to see all the people that got up for the games and see some of the videos from the different locations, the bars, the different stadiums where people were packing out. So it's exciting, and at least the people don't have to wait too much longer for to see some more soccer in terms of watching the MLS, and then in 2 years the Copa America being in America. That will be an exciting tournament for the fans to watch as well.
How about finishing in the round of 16? What are your feelings about the way you guys finished?
It's good because it's 2 World Cups in a row that we've been able to advance out of the group and get to the knockout stages. But still, I mean, it hurts to go out because you want to keep going and going as far as possible because you never know how many World Cups you can be a part of, and you want to be able to do something special and get on a good run. But we fought hard. We showed a lot of character. We just came up a little bit short.
Siggy talked about how, in addition to the physical toll, there's kind of an emotional letdown or whatever, assuming you don't win the whole thing. Does it take a little time to kind of get recharged after that tournament?
It does, because there was just so much travel involved and so much work on the field and on tape and just nonstop being around the game, and from the camp to traveling for the sending off games to the travel that we experienced in Brazil, the games, the media, the focus. It begins to be a lot because it is a lot of pressure. You want to do well. You want to continue the growth of the game and the sport, and you want to keep pushing the game in the right direction in the States, and you feel that responsibility as a player. So, after the World Cup, it was good of the coaching staff to, and the ownership to give me a little bit of a break, which I needed, and now I'm recharged and I'm ready to go.
How fit are you?
In the States, the World Cup seemed to register as a real sort of international coming out party for DeAndre. What did you see of his growth down there?
Yeah, it was great to see. He had no fear. He was able to go out and really show his athleticism and his energy and what he can bring to the game. So he's only 21, and he's a player that has a lot of potential. So it's exciting for him. I'm proud that he was able to go in and do a great job. And like I said, the future's bright for him.
How would you describe your fitness at this point?
Well, I've only been out for a week, so I would still think that I would be in good shape. I was able to come out today, get some good touches, and it just feels good to be back. And I'll get to another session tomorrow, and I feel I'll be ready to go.
Do you think you'll play a role in Sunday's game?
It's up to the coaching staff, but yes, I'm back. I want to play. That's exciting. Anytime you can play, in front of the fans that we have and play against our rivals, in terms of the importance of the game and 67,000 being there, you want to be a part of that. So hopefully I get to play a part.
There's a lot of reports, obviously, about DeAndre maybe going over to Europe at some point. As someone who's played over there, will you or have you already talked to him about that and kind of talk about his options with him and stuff?
Well, that's a difficult subject to talk about because we're focused on the team. But in terms of if that's something that he wants to do, then I wish the best for him because it is exciting, to go and to play in some of the leagues in Europe and play against some of the best players in the world. And if that's in the cards for him, well, then that will be great. But we're happy to have him here, and we're just going to try to make the most of the time that we do have with all the players that we have, because I think we have such a quality team, and I think you're always something that you worry about as a team is some changes, and that occurs even with the expansion draft because you're only able to protect a certain amount of players. So we have a really good team right now, and we want to make the most of this moment and try to push for an MLS Cup. So that's kind of what we're thinking.
Last time you were in MLS and you came back from the World Cup, I would imagine you weren't getting ready to play in front of 65,000 people. What is that? Is it good to have maybe not a soft landing when you come back?
Well, I don't know. That's an interesting question. Before I was normally going on break because I was playing in Europe, and I was going to go on break for I think like 3 weeks or something like that. And now, only getting a week break and then getting to jump right back into it. Yeah, I think it is exciting. I mean, it's not too much of a drop off in terms of that excitement that you experience, during the World Cup. So I'm happy to be back and excited about playing in that game like I talked about, and it's just about making sure that you manage that transition in the right way and that you're able to to produce and help the team any way possible.
During that week off, did you get completely away from the game, or were you keeping an eye on the other matches going on still?
To be honest with you, I got away from the game. It's tough to watch the other team still being in the competition, and you're jealous because you still want to be a part of things. But I was texting with different friends and my family just what the scores were and stuff like that. So I was still involved, but just not watching the games on TV. But it was good for me just to get a little bit of downtime and just not having to travel so much for a little bit and being able to get back to doing some fishing. That was fun, and for the few days I was off.
As someone who was in the training sessions, who was in the film sessions, was in all the prep work, what did you think of the way Jurgen had you guys set up tactically, and did you feel you were well prepared for everything?
Yes, I think we were well prepared as a team to do well, and we did do well. A lot of people counted us out, didn't believe in us. We believed in ourselves. I think it hurt us when Josie got the injury because we had to change some things around in terms of me being a target striker, where normally I was more in a withdrawn forward role where I was able to get on the ball a little bit more. But still, I thought we were able to play well and get the job done. And at the end of the day, we just came up a little bit short in the Belgium game.
You knew when you were coming here that this team gets big crowds, all that. But what was kind of your reaction to the first game you played when it was the full stadium like you'll have this weekend with 65,000 or so?
Yeah, I mean, it was great. I mean, the first experience I had was being introduced in front of the crowd before I think a game we played against Dallas, and just that reception and the support that we have here is you can't replicate it. I don't think anywhere else in the States because of the numbers that we get to our games. It's something that's special. But there are other passionate fans that are with the different teams. But in terms of numbers and the support that we get here, it's amazing, and I think it's tough to beat.
You mentioned that travel was hard in Brazil. Do you think those of you with MLS experience are a little more used to that? Did that help you guys out at all?
You get used to it from playing in the MLS, but you also get used to it from playing with the national team because they mix up games, whether you're playing in the States and, us being all the way over here on the West Coast, they'll have a game on the East Coast, and you'll have a game in Europe. World Cup qualifying, you're going down to Jamaica. We're up in Seattle playing a game, and then we're in Salt Lake City playing another World Cup qualifying game. In terms of our preparation of the qualifying process, and then you look at our sending off games, with the national team was the same. We're out in San Francisco, then we're in New York, and then down in Florida. So I think everybody's used to the travel. It does take a toll on you, but you try to figure out a way to manage it the best possible, and I think we do a good job of doing that. But that's something I think every player in the game experiences, just in terms of that type of travel, especially the American players. Whether you're playing MLS, whether you're playing for club or playing for country or playing in Europe, you're traveling a lot.
But compared to the players that in England that maybe don't travel as much, how do they cope with that?
I would be surprised. There's a lot of international players that are playing in the teams in England. There was Swartzer on my team. It was traveling all the way to Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Korea. I mean, so there's still lots of players that are doing a lot of travel. But yeah, in terms of, I guess, the English players or some of the players that are closer around those countries, well then yeah, maybe it's not as much. But I think on the international level as a whole, I think that's something that a lot of players deal with.
How do you feel the fan support grew or compares to years past in the World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I first was in the national team and we were playing friendly games or World Cup qualifying games, and you don't feel like you're even at home and you're playing in the States. And then now going to Brazil and outside of Brazil, the States sold the most tickets, and having that home away from home is showing how far the game has come. So it's exciting. I think the future looks bright. It's in terms of the academies and the development and reaching underprivileged kids and reaching different demographics. It's exciting about the players that I think that we're going to produce in the next 5, 10, 15 years.
For you, Clint, though, what was your number one takeaway in Brazil? What's your best memory from being down there in Brazil and being in the World Cup?
Besides not being big.
Yeah, right. The three things: being able to be in the third World Cup. From a personal standpoint, being able to score in 3 consecutive World Cups, being the first American to do that, and then being able to advance out of the group after the Germany game, knowing that we got out of a group that was difficult and a lot of people counted us out, and we were able to prove people wrong, but also prove ourselves right because we believed in ourselves. So those are 3 big memories that I'll take away from that tournament.
Being the American to score in 3 consecutive World Cups, just how special is that for you?
For me, it's real special because I never knew if I was going to play in one World Cup. I remember as a kid going to bed, that's what I would pray about and dream about and hope that one day that I could do that. And being able to relive that dream 3 times and be able to have been the captain of the national team during a World Cup and in one of the most difficult groups, being able to be a part of that is pretty special. And so I've been blessed in terms of my international career, but also my club career, being able to play professionally, provide for my family, and like this weekend, being able to play in front of 67,000 fans at a home game is pretty exciting.
You had any thoughts about scoring in a 4th World Cup?
Well, I mean that's a little bit of ways to think about, but I am want to continue playing with the national team as long as possible, and I am looking forward to trying to push and be a part of Copa America for sure. And if you're able to still play at a high level and perform, well then yes, you try to. If it can be one of those players that are able to play at the international level for a long time. But you have to continue to perform. It's not about saying, okay, I want to do it and it's going to happen. It's about putting in the work. And hopefully I can stay fresh, stay sharp, and stay productive enough that I keep getting called in.
Outside of soccer, you got an album that dropped today. Yeah, talk about that at all?
The album didn't drop today.
Oh, a song.
Well, yeah, I think they put it out, my friends. It was just something we did in the off season. Like I enjoy fishing, I also enjoy music, and we're doing it for a good cause. It's the proceeds are going towards East Texas Food Bank, which is a charity that gives meals to underprivileged kids in East Texas. So it was just a way to have fun and also give back. So it's not something I'm taking too seriously. All right.
One quick thing, if you have a moment. You talk about the growing interest. I mean, it was nuts back here, and hopefully you guys felt that. When you have on a world stage like that, getting so much new attention from American audiences, how much does it hurt to have some of those things happen, like the biting and some of the other things that were going on in terms of affecting what people's perception of the game?
I think it is what it is. I mean, the game, in any sport, there's always going to be different things that happen, good and bad. So, I mean, hopefully the good, overshadows all the bad. I think you can't help but see the good in the game, how it brings cultures together, and how, it's just something that people get so excited about, just like the Olympics. But I mean, if you look around the world, and the most popular sport is everybody else calls it football, we call it soccer, but it's exciting to see how far it's come, because I remember when I was a young kid growing up in Nacogdoches, I used to get funny looks when I told people I wanted to be when I grew up. So it's exciting times, and hopefully it continues moving in the right direction.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.